Hey guys, you are watching Inside the Circle T with Scotty Cameron. We're going to bring you some thoughts from the tour, from inside my custom shop, talk about putters, putting, touring pros, tour reps, and everything else in between. This is with Drew Page, my tour rep for the PGA Tour, and featuring Justin Thomas.
Hi everybody, welcome to Inside the Circle T. My name is Drew Page. I'm here with Justin Thomas. Welcome, Justin. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
What's been going on? Since you haven't been able to play any tournaments, give us maybe like a daily routine a little bit.
It's not a lot. Obviously, you're kind of limited on what you can and can't do, and I feel like with tournaments not starting up for quite a while now, that we tried to kind of get a plan when everything came out, and as the schedules came out, and then figuring out we're not going to start until June-ish. My dad and I didn't really feel the need to go out and practice and grind a bunch, and even if we wanted to, with courses being closed now, we don't have that option. But I've really been trying to take this time, honestly, just to get rested and enjoy the time at home. And I've been working out a lot, just doing stuff at home, or been fortunate to have a couple friends with home gyms. So, kind of bumming off them a little bit, but it really is just trying to pass the time and, play some video games here and there, and really just take it easy.
It's definitely probably the biggest break I'm assuming you've taken in golf from practicing, really.
Yeah, it is. It made me realize pretty quickly that I don't think I've won an off season. I thought I did the whole time, but I think obviously if you could travel, it'd be a lot different, but made me realize very quickly that after the first 2 weeks that I'm perfectly content with the schedule that we have, and playing throughout most of the year isn't as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, not so bad at all. Have you been able to do any putting at home kind of while you've been just kind of hanging out and in between video games and whatnot and working out?
Yeah. I mean, not much. I'll go from time to time. I mean, obviously in terms of actual practice, for me, I like to do a lot of drills and performance-based stuff. So I'm not going to be able to simulate any of that at my home. But if I want to be able to check my alignment, it's easy to put a stick down, whether it's in my living room or I can go upstairs, or have a mirror, check my eye line, just stuff like that I do from time to time, just to make sure nothing gets really out of whack. So when I do start up again, I don't feel like I'm completely starting from scratch. But for the most part, it's just kind of making sure that the fundamentals aren't getting totally out of whack.
Tell us maybe a little bit about your first memories of Scotty Cameron putters, or what your first putter. Tell us about it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to where I've used Cameron putters, I mean, since before I could even remember. I think once I got to the junior level, to where I was able to, I guess, be a part of like the junior program that Titleist and Acushnet and Scotty Cameron, the whole kind of family have. I don't remember specifically what age I was. I do remember that my first trip to the studio was the old studio, which I think was 1 or 2 studios ago. I mean, it was very small. I remember. I mean, I can picture it. It just, it was like a little bit bigger than.
I've actually seen the pictures of you in there.
Yeah.
To my recollection, I think they told me that you were 12 in there, and you.
Something around 10 or 12, because I went out there, I think, when I went out to California for the Junior World, and anytime I go in either to get fit or work with you out on tour, or I'm talking to Paul directly, talking to Scotty about making a putter, it's the intentions are to get the best putter to fit our eye and to perform the best, and that's what's been kind of fun about the process over the I guess the last 10 years or so, or 12 years, just to see how the putters have evolved and see how my taste has evolved as well.
Do you remember your first Scotty Cameron putter too?
I definitely remember my first Scotty Cameron putter. I have it at I have it at home in Kentucky. It probably comes like a little bit higher than my knee. We haven't had it plugged or anything like that. It's exactly what it was, and it had the 3 dots on the front.
Pro flat.
Yeah, it had the the lie angle, the loft, everything like that on the bottom, on the sole. And I remember at that point, when I got that, my dad cut it down for me, and I wasn't able to get everything stamped, or I think I had my initials on them, but did get it all decked out. And I remember seeing putters, whether it be on TV or friends, wherever it was, and I wanted it. And I mean, I had this thing so colored in, I had Sharpies, but I was 10 years old, so it doesn't look very good. But it's every time I go home and I go back in my room, I always pull that putter out and look at it. It just it's funny to look at, because I do remember that. But spending time with Scotty and meeting him for the first time was amazing, and just kind of getting to know him and how creative he is. And it's no coincidence he comes up with his putter covers, his divot tools, and his bikes, whatever it is. It's anybody who knows him would just say that's Scotty, and that's how he is.
Yeah. Do you know of any? Can you think of any times that really like stood out where we had to do some adjustments, whether it's me or someone before me?
Well, it's just, I mean, what's important is that it goes the same as as the rest of across Titleist and every club I use. It's like my job is to use the club, to go hit the iron, to go hit the putt, and your job is to know why it's happening. Or if I'm like, hey, why does this ball seem like it's skipping? You're like, well, the loft is a little bit this, or this putter maybe is a little bit shallower than this, or the CD. But like that's what I don't know. That's fortunately that's not what I get paid to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a job. So it's like, for me, I know that if I get on, and we've talked about this, when I get on faster greens, that sometimes, because I have such a heavy putter, as much as I love fast greens, I tendency on the shorter putts, I'll miss them on the high side, especially places like Augusta where your speed is so important. And that's where we kind of thought over the past couple of years, like, well, I have so much mass and force behind my ball. What about using lighter weights? And you're like, well, yeah, that makes sense. And talking to Paul, talking to Scotty, they're like, yeah, as much as I love fast greens, and when I play them, for some reason I struggle when I get those big breakers because of how good my speed has to be to make them. So that's where when I go to you guys, I get questions answered, because that's what you're there for, and that's what all of us on tour are able to use you for, and that's what helps us. And I never thought before that a blade versus a mallet putter, that one is more forgiving than the other. I mean, I was like, it's a putter. I'm just taking it back here, and I'm hitting it, 15 feet. What's it need to be forgiving for? But in reality, you're not going to hit them all in the center, or you might hit one a little lower, a little higher, and it's the same as a cavity bag versus a blade. One is going to be more forgiving, and it's stuff like that I never knew or really never even thought to think of until I kind of start diving into it and figuring it out.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And, like I said, from our time knowing each other, starting in college when we played college golf together and all that stuff, like, and all the way into your pro career, you've used blades, you've used mallets, you've used mid mallets, and then you've kind of settled on your Futura X5. Can you kind of maybe talk to us about that? Like why you maybe settled on that one exactly, and what you like about it specifically?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story how I settled on it. It was in 2016, I believe. It was my second year on tour. I just finished up the Wyndham, and I hit it well, and I putted so bad. Again, I used blades my whole life. I used a Newport. I pretty much used a Newport 2 or Newport, one of those two, all the way through college. I still love the look. I was putting so bad, and I felt like I couldn't get the ball in the hole to save my life. And I was like, I'm hitting it way too good I missed the cut at the Wyndham. I remember I played 2 days, and I hit like 2 bad drives in 2 days, but I hit, I missed like 7, I missed like 8 greens or 7 greens, and I missed the cut, and it was just so frustrating. I'm like, I can't do this, and I honestly, I mean, I'll never forget it. I went in the van, and I think it was on Monday, the bag full of putters, and I just was like, can I get these bags out? And they're like, yeah, no worries. And I was like, I need something. I need to look, because I never do that. I mean, that I'll go over and I'll just pick something up to see if something's new, but it's like, I'm always sticking with my putter. And I was like, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how different it is from my putter. I need something different to look at. I've always used this Newport 2. I just need something. I don't care if it's a week, if it's 2 days, if it's
just something different.
Like I can't look at the same putter this week. Like, I've putted so bad last week, and I literally went through, opened it up, I'm like, nope. Okay, that one looks okay. No, oh, all right. And I had about 3, and then I put that X5 down. Like, nice. And I liked the neck, and I liked how it sat, and I was like, all right, can I get this to my specs? And took it out, hit some putts with it on the putting green, and here we are in 2020, and I'm still using it. So it's been a pretty good run.
That's just how things go sometimes. It matches your eye and everything goes in, and the rest is history. And sometimes the process is much more intricate, and it just takes a while to find it. And, luckily it wasn't the case for you. And I think you've done pretty well with that.
In terms of knowing the putter, is I've always been a big face rotation guy, to where I'll get, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of the best putters in the world do that, but obviously the more you do it, the more timing it is, and I would struggle. My tendency is to get it open, obviously very open on the way back, but then I would drag it, and because of that toe hang, I had a hard time releasing it and matching it back up. So, not knowing that at the time, using it, but as time went on and I was using it longer and longer, I was like, well, I wonder why I am putting better with this putter. And I don't know if I was specifically talking to one of you guys at the time, but it was just like, well, this putter is more face balanced, and me, I don't know anything about my golf clubs, and I'm like, okay, cool, I don't know what that means. And
yeah, right.
It's just more square to square, and it's like it's a better putter for me. It's just a better for my tendency of stroke. Someone that maybe is a little bit like this would be better off with that Newport to help with that swing. But for me, with my tendencies and my stroke, that putter is definitely a lot better for me.
Yeah, and it's matched up pretty good. And I'm trying to think, maybe over our course together, I think I've seen you maybe go back to the Newport 2 once or twice, and it's just to kind of
that was
switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, that was off my wrist injury when I was putting for so long. I was trying to become perfect, and that was the thing that ever could have happened. So, but the old gamer seems to make its way back in the bag somehow.
You have a similar gamer with you right now. Would you maybe tell us a little story about him?
The gamer you have, this isn't my specific one, but this is something pretty cool that Scotty did for me, and I guess it does this for the major champions when you win. The guys on the staff using the Cameron putter, and it has the 2017 PGA champion Quail Hollow 276 8 under, and it's an exact replica of my putter. It's just in gold, and it's very, very cool. He gave me the head cover from the tournament, signed JT, congratulations, Scotty on it, and it's that's something that's cool and a keepsake. I keep this in a separate bag than all my putter. Obviously, it would never use it, and it's someday when I'm at a place where I'll be displaying my putters or framing them, whatever it is. That's the first major is always very special, but that's one because it's the putter that I did use and I am using, but used for my first major, and then the special gesture by Scotty kind of makes it even better.
Yeah, that's really cool that he does that, and it shows how much Scotty cares about his players and you specifically and like that. It's really cool.
It is. So I've got 2 other ones here that I could easily go through every single one of them and say why they're special, but this one will always be very similar to my other one. Will be one that I'll basically never get out of my sights. This was the one that I had my first PGA Tour win with. at the CIMB in Malaysia. This is a Newport 2 GSS. It's got a tri-sole on the bottom, top line. I mean, this is something that a putter style that I used for so long. I mean, I used it through high school, through college. I mean, it just always set up nice. Had the little cherry dot on the front and the back, and just a vintage Scotty move with the little guy on the toe. I mean, it's just it's just a special putter because it's what I coming down the 18th trying to win my first tour event and being on a par 5 and thinking that it's an easy par and I'll win by 1, and I have about a 30-footer uphill, and I was so nervous that I kind of caught my beat and jam. I mean, if anything, you leave it under the hole, and I jammed it like 5-6 feet past above the hole, downhill left-right slider, which is just the last putt you want when you're trying to win your first tournament. But I just kept telling myself that I did want that putt to win my first tournament, and was able to sneak it in that right side and get it done. So this is a special one for sure.
And then you got maybe one more putter here for us.
I do. So this putter probably has the coolest story to it. So this is shocking Newport 2 tri-sole. This was actually in 16, so the same season as the putter that I won with. But
yeah,
I was struggling with my alignment, with aim, and just basically, what I felt like was square, what looked square to me wasn't. I have a tendency to aim a little bit left. I used to really aim left, and went into the studio, and I was like, Scotty was there, and spent some time with him and Paul, and I'm like, what, I got to do something. I don't know if I need to put 2 lines on the back, if I need to put a line on the top and a couple on the back, or a dot, or whatever it is. And we're going through the options, and we're just talking about it. And Scotty's like, well, what do you think would work for you? I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, I've tried before to aim the putter face. My dad has told me that before, if I'm struggling with the aim, maybe try to aim the face as opposed to the line or the dot that's on the putter. And I tried that, and that's worked. And sometimes the line works. And he's like, well, what if we kind of did a cross thing? Because I used a mallet from, I think in 14, my year on the now the Corn Ferry Tour. I think it was a fastback, and it had the cross on there. And it's like, I used that. And he's like, well, what if we did it your style putter with that on the back of it? And I'm like, that could work. So we go across the street. I hit some putts, and everything, my numbers were good. All my alignment and fundamentals, everything was good, but just my alignment was off to where, the faster the greens, the longer the putt, then, or even the shorter the putt, the more misses I'm going to have if that's not consistent. So we go across the street where he makes his putters, where he does the majority of his work, to my understanding. And I watched him make this putter from scratch. We started, he's like, find it, get a head you like. I'm like, I like this head. He's like, I like a little thinner, thinner top line. So thin that down and maybe shave this off a little bit. Okay, cool. So we get it and going through it. And then it's like, where do you want the line? Do you want the line all the way across or in the back? I'm like, no, just put it, maybe a little bit more than halfway. So puts it down. What stamps do you want? I've always been a fan of really clean putters, just not a lot on them. So I just have the vertical stamping of the Scotty Cameron on the face, went nothing else nothing on the toe, nothing else on the heel, nothing but a circle T on the back, and then just my name on the flange there. And then he added a little J. Thomas special on the bottom of it, because I think this was the only one that definitely the only one he'd made at that time. So we're going through it, and, we get the stampings, get everything done. And he's like, well, what kind of finish do you want? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I guess just normal. He's like, well, we can do it. I mean, I'm starting from scratch. We can do anything you want. So I was like, well, what about that? He's like, what do you mean, what about that? He's like, I haven't done anything to it yet. I was like, yeah, I know. What, has anybody ever done that? And he said, no. I was like, I'm looking down at it. I'm like, that looks pretty good. I mean, it's pretty cool looking. He's like, well, we can keep it just like this if you want. And I was like, let's do it. I mean, I think it looks awesome. It's obviously you'll have those random times in the day and certain sunlights of the day where it didn't exactly work out the best, but it just was it was so unique and so different. And I don't know, I just when I saw it, I loved it, and ended up using it. I remember I used it at the Masters. I actually putted really, really well that week, and didn't hit it very well, but I putted well. But it's just turned out, again, just a cool putter to have, and to watch Scotty literally start from scratch, go through every step, finish everything, put a shaft in it, put a grip on it, say, just let it dry, here you go. And I watched him do the entire thing for over whatever, an hour or two. It was just unbelievable.
Right. Hayden_Oliver asks, what is your thought process when you have to sink a crucial putt?
I mean, everybody looks at it differently, and a lot of it honestly depends on what it's for or the circumstances. I mean, if you're trying to make a 25-footer to win a stroke play tournament by 1 on 18, then you need to make it with perfect speed. You need to make it with 6 inches past speed. I mean, for me, I'm not one to ram putts. I don't like doing that. That's not what I'm comfortable with, so I'm trying to make most of my putts with that speed anyway. But, if you have a 15-footer uphill on the last hole to win a match in match play when, the next putt doesn't matter, you obviously need to treat it a little bit differently, or at least make sure it gets to the hole, sort of thing. You just have to get once you get your read, whatever your process is in terms of getting the read, figure that out. And once you line up for there, it's the only thing you should focus on is speed. And don't think about what's going to happen if you make it. Don't think about what's going to happen if you miss it. Don't think about the outcome. It's all a process, and you just need to stick to that. And to me, it's just, I look at it as an opportunity to basically showcase to everybody my talent. It's like that putt on 18 at the President's Cup, I was like, I have been thinking about this. I mean, obviously a major championship would be probably cooler, but I've been thinking about a moment like this my entire life, making a putt of some kind of length on the last hole to win a tournament, win a match, and to do it with.
What did you say when you made that putt?
I love me some me.
No. More me, less everybody else, right?
That's right. That moment, yes.
What a good putt. Evan.11, what does your putting practice consist of?
Yeah, my putting practice, it changes each week in terms of when I'm out on the road, because I would say Monday's usually a travel day if I'm playing a couple weeks in a row, or if I'm going from home to a tournament. Monday's usually the day I spend getting there. And then Tuesday, I try to spend a lot of time working on the speed. If I go out and play 9 holes or don't play any holes, I hit a lot of lag putts, hit a lot of 15 to 30-foot putts, just trying to gauge the speed of the greens. Because although we are very fortunate to play on very good greens every week, the speeds do change. I mean, that's
100%.
That will always happen. I mean, if you go to Torrey Pines and then Pebble Beach and then Phoenix or LA, they're all different. Although, Riv and Pebble are both Poana, they're very, very different Poana. It's just, you have to get used to the speed, at least for me. So that's what I spend a lot of time on Tuesday. I might do some time before lunch, spend some speed work, and then afterwards, after I maybe go play 9, I'll do a putting drill. I like 4 to 8 foot drills. My favorite, where you put tees at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in 4 different directions around the hole. You can spiral them, whatever, go to different holes, whatever. But you have to make 16 out of 20 before you stop. And that's just something, like I said earlier, I like result-oriented practice, because I get instant feedback and I know how I've done, as opposed to just going out and hitting some putts. And obviously, you can hit many good putts and not go in, but from 4 to 8 feet, good putts should be going in. It's not like that 10 to 25-foot range where you can hit good putts that they don't have as much time to have unlucky stuff happen, whether it be bounce off a spike mark or just take a weird break or the wind picks up, whatever it might be. So, just doing different drills to try to make sure everything is kind of staying intact.
Yeah, and I've seen you do those drills out there at events, and like you said, you're result oriented. So, I've seen you get mad or frustrated a couple times on the practice green when it's, like you said, a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So, that shows a lot of passion. I mean, you care. It's you're trying to get better, and
You don't. I mean, the big thing is you just don't want to go out there and just putt. You don't want to be like, all right, I'm going to putt because I feel like I have to. It's like I'm going out there to get better. And I did forget to mention, I start every single putting session, whether it's a practice round, a tournament, us going to play here at home or whatever it is. Like I always put the mirror down my eye line because that's something that is very dominant in me putting well. Is my eyes are square to or parallel to where I'm aiming. If they get like this, then my path is going to get into out, or they very rarely get this way, but if they do, then it's going to go that way. So that's something that, I mean, it takes, I'll hit putts on it for a minute. I'll hit 5 putts, but I can put it down and pretty much right away that day I can look down and know how my eye line is. But there's just days where I'm cockeyed and I'm like this, and I have to feel like I'm like that when I'm over the ball, but whatever I need to get my eye line correct. So that's something I always do as well.
This would be a good one. Big Haas 85. He asked, of all the putter brands out there, why do you choose Scotty Cameron?
I mean, to me, I choose Scotty Cameron because it's like it's not even a choice to me. It's like, well, why would I do or choose anything else? Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just like, to me, growing up, I never thought anything else. It just was like, it was always the best putter to use, so why wouldn't I want to use it? And then now that I'm been playing professional or high school, college golf, like it's never another option. I mean, I don't own another putter. I literally don't. So it's just, to me, they have anything and everything that I could ever want and imagine in terms of feel and sound and shape and weight and length. Like it's all there.
Putter reps.
What's that? Putter
reps too.
Yeah, well, they could definitely get better on the putter rep side, but you'll do for now. But it's just, to me, it's such an easy choice that it's not even a choice. I know that's kind of, it contradicts itself, but it pretty much, the choice isn't, do I go with Scotty Cameron? It's what Scotty Cameron do I want to use, or what Scotty Cameron works for that specific person, or obviously for me. So it's something that it really wasn't a thought, and it never has been a thought, and won't be. It's pretty much, hopefully I never change putters, because that means I'm continuing to putt well, but the only choice I have is where Scotty Cameron do I want to use.
How often do you check your putter, like as far as loft lie and grip changes, stuff like that?
I mean, I give you my putter every week, don't I?
Yeah, you do. You were Jimmy for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I specifically probably don't give it to you. But I always get my clubs, especially my putter, checked. I like my grip. I don't change very often. I like getting that in a certain place, but no, I mean, if my loft or lie is off, it's going to change how the ball comes off the putter and how I putt. So that's something that I don't even have to do. It's like that's the easiest thing that I should never have to worry about, is all my clubs having the correct loft and lie, and that way I never have to worry about anything. So that's why just every week over travel, on an airplane, if you're driving in a car, like just put you lean on your putter wrong, like stuff can happen. And that's why I just get it checked every week, because it's not worth the risk to me of having a putt to win a tournament and it missing it because my loft was off of my putter and I didn't get it checked.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're there for. And that way you have peace of mind. Like you said, when you have a crucial putt to make, like you're good. You're good. You know that it's in the position it should be.
Anyways.
What's that?
Got to give you something to do anyways.
Exactly. How much time have you spent on your left-handed game after a disappointing loss to a neighbor?
Who is that from?
A fellow neighbor.
Notice that you didn't say a name on that. Is that?
Oh, I forgot actually. Sorry, that's from BMock 777.
Want to make sure
how much time have you spent on your left-handed game?
I want to make sure it wasn't coming from you directly.
No, it wasn't coming from me.
No, I haven't at all. Pretty much all the courses are closed down here, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't. But we're definitely going to get a rematch in when everything opens back up, because I think I can beat him. He's got a lot more power than I do, but man, he putts it nice. He putts it better than I do, lefty, and I feel like I'm a pretty good putter. So,
who's your favorite person to play golf with? It doesn't have to be a tour player.
I'd say Tiger's my favorite person to play golf with, whether it's a tournament or just for fun.
Yeah.
Competitive or not competitive, sometimes we'll go out and have games, and sometimes we'll go out and take shag bags with us and hit a million shots. But I just feel like I always learn something from watching them, and we like jabbing with each other and giving each other a hard time and keeping each other humble. But it's definitely someone that I like being around. Just it's like being around Rory or being around DJ, Jordan, Rick. It's like I feel like I can learn something in being around guys that are really good players.
Yeah, definitely. B Jesse 01 asked, how many Circle T's do you own? Rough ballpark.
I'm gonna go 40.
40. That's a safe number. Over 10 or 12 years, like you said, since you've been getting them, that's not a bad number at all.
Yeah.
Not a bad number at all. Kyle Montante asked, can I have your putter? LOL.
No. LOL.
Well, Justin, thanks so much for hanging out with us and taking time, out of your day to talk with us and talk Scotty Cameron product and putters with us. We really appreciate you we really appreciate you coming on and talking with us, and hope you're staying safe during this, and really look forward to seeing you out on tour soon and doing more work with you.
Yeah, man. No, thank you to you and Scotty and Paul for everything y'all do, not just for me, but all the ambassadors. It's you, like I said earlier, you guys do the hard work and just kind of give us the products and what might work best for us. But the relationships and friendships are just as important as anything. So thank you for that. And I'll see you, or I'll probably talk to you on the video games later this week.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good, dude.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Thanks.